Good morning or good evening. I have no idea what time you're watching this video, but hello. This is Stuart. I'm from RetroMania, and I'm going to show you today the brand new Windows XE installer. So, first things first. You see on screen, this is the RetroMania forum, rmcody.uk. You need to be a member of the forum in order to be able to access the XE download. So once you're a member, you can scroll down here to the Installing RetroMania section, and then you have an option here for RetroMania XE. And then it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll add some more detail in here, but for now, you just want to click on the download option. So click download, and you see here that the zip file is downloading. So we'll open that up, click on it, and you've got the RetroMania XE installer. So we'll extract that, and I'll put it in my downloads folder. Hit OK. Now we can go to our downloads folder, and you'll see here the RetroMania XE. So to get it set up, simple as just double click and install. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Yes, you do. I have to leave this playing. I love the Halo music. Right, that's enough. Okay, so that's how it boots up. Nice bit of Halo, get you in the gaming mood. But the installer isn't just about gaming. This is just general. Essentially what we've done is we've replicated what the application can do to a certain extent. Plus we've also incorporated a lot of Windows emulation. So you'll see here. Welcome to RetroMania Windows Installer Setup. Setup will guide you through the process. It's recommended that you close all your other applications before starting. So you need to make sure that certainly that Kodi is closed before running this. So make sure you've got it closed, so you can see my icon down here and it's not running. So that's fine. So we'll click next. And then there's a little hello. First of all, and it should actually say bravo to John E. Logie on the group. John's putting hours and hours and hours of work to get this XE all prepared for you, and with loads of different setups for emulation. So many thanks to John E. Logie, and I hope everybody thanks him as well on the forum and on the Facebook group. So to get started, we've got a link here for Launchbox. Launchbox is a default front-end emulator that we use for the Windows build, and the RetroMania forum can also be accessed to that link there. But what we want to do is install the build. So click agree. Now you get the option backup Launchbox on build. So unlike the previous XE, unlike anything else we've seen, this will allow you to back up your existing setup if you've got it on the C drive. So if you've got C:/Launchbox, which is where we will install the Launchbox setup to. So if you've got the previous one that RetroMania provided for you, you can back up your old setup, so you're not going to lose all the games and everything that you've added in there that are all linked up, and then it will restore that at the end. So you can also do the same with a build. Exactly the same as what it backs up in the Elite app. It will back up all of your logins, your passwords, your IPTV, your real debrid. So again, you don't have to redo all of that when you install a new setup. So do we want to back it up? Hell yeah, we want to back it up. Make my life a lot easier. So that runs in the background, and then you provided a list here. So you can see Kodi, but if you click on Kodi, boom, everything else opens up. So within the Kodi section, you've got Kodi 17.1 install, RetroMania build, and Launchbox. So we don't have any. Well, I've got Kodi installed at the moment, so I don't need to add Kodi. So at this stage, I'll just click RetroMania build, and I'll click Launchbox. If you don't have Kodi installed, click Kodi as well, and then it will prompt you at the start of the installation. It'll download Kodi for you, and you can get that installed and set up. Emulators, loads of emulators. So unlike the last XE that we released, this has got a ton more, and a lot of the complicated ones we've tried to iron out the issues for you. So I'll be doing follow-up videos with regard to a lot of these emulators, showing you how to get them set up on the machine. So at this stage, this is just obviously the installation video for the build and for Launchbox. So if you're interested in what each emulator does, if you look on the right hand side, you'll see here it says description. So you can see that's Atari 800, 5200, 3D NES, MSX, and that's the Wii U emulator, and you've got the 3DS emulation, GameCube, Wii, some multi-emulators. There's a couple of quirky ones in here that you're not going to see or find on Android anytime soon. So you've got Daphne, which is the Laserdisc, so you got the Dragon's Lair style games that are on that one. We've also got another couple of requests. So Supermodel, so that's your Sega arcade model emulator. Got your BIOS, which is Sega Saturn. So there's loads in there. You got RetroArch, the latest RetroArch version, a PPSP, PS2. You've also got PS3, so we can emulate PS1, 2, and 3 and everything on the PC. So it gives you a lot more scope. What else we've included down here? So I'll just minimize the emulation. I'll take them all first because I want to install all of them. Actually, I don't want to install Dolphin 86 because I've got a Windows 64 PC. So if you're running Windows 64, you don't need the x86 versions. So you can untick the x86 ones. If you've got a 64-bit PC, then you'd want to use that. If you're using the older versions that's running on 32-bit, then you'd want to tick the those ones and not do the newer ones. So we're moving on. Retro Achievements. This is available through RetroArch. So we've got that set up pre-configured for you. So in here, this will install it and get it set up for you, so you can actually play online and have online scores against a lot of your fellow group members. And then in the miscellaneous section, we have just some additional support. So Semi-Affix, so Rocket Launcher, which is more commonly known to be used with what's it called? Hyperspin, sorry. But you can also use it with regard to Launchbox, so you can run everything through Rocket Launcher. So if you've got Hyperspin set up, you could simply link that in and then relaunch everything through the Rocket Launcher. Xpadder, which is for controllers. DirectX Fix, which is just general fix. So a few fixes there, loads of emulators, and Kodi in the build and everything. So we've got everything that we want ticked there. So click Next. It tells you everything in your list. So make sure you've got everything that you want. And then hit Install. Now you can go make a cup of tea. How British was that? Go make a cup of tea. You can do whatever the hell you want. Right now, I'd probably go and switch to go play on my on the Retro X on my Shield or something like that. So I'm going to pause it here. I'll come back when this is installed, and then we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. Back everyone, you can see now that the RetroMania Windows installer has finished. So that's installed the build, the emulators, a lot of the support, and additional files. And you'll see here you've got an option for RetroMania README page. So if you leave that ticked and click Finish, that will take you to this page, where you've got direct links to all of the emulators that have been included within the build, so you can find additional support from the direct source there. So brilliant work from John there. So no excuse, if people want to know more about each emulator that's in the build, then by all means just click on one of those links. Going forward, if you go back to the Exe, it says restore Launchbox configuration and build items. So we want to do that, so click yes. And then once that finishes, we should be able to launch Kodi. So I've got it down here. So let's click Kodi and boot up RetroMania. So those of you unfamiliar with RetroMania, Launchbox is the default front end as you've just installed. So to learn how to use Launchbox, I would highly recommend watching some of the tutorials, which we've pre-linked in there for you. There's a link to the Launchbox demo as well, so you can see how it runs. And there's also Big Box. Big Box is the premium version. It's a paid version of Launchbox, which gives you kind of a hyperspin kind of front end, but without the headache. It's so much easier. You can just import everything and it'll find the artwork if you've got a LinkedIn MU Movies account. So, I mean, I've got the Big Box set up, I've got the MU Movies account, and it just makes life so simple. You just drag and drop a ROM in, and it'll find all the artwork, find videos, find absolutely everything you want. But that's obviously optional. Launchbox is a free version, so that's what we include, and we're going to show you that now. So, to launch it, easy as pie, click Launchbox. And there we go, that starts to boot up Launchbox. Ah, there's a new version of Launchbox. So, why don't we install that? Launchbox, you'll find, is updated very, very frequently. Brilliant front end, loads and loads of features that it does. So, whenever you open it up, it will automatically tell you if there's a new one that you can install. At this stage though, I'll just skip past that. You can get an idea of how you would install an update for it, and it'll keep all your settings the same. So, I'll just close that for the time being. And it will give you an overview of what's been updated. So at this stage, again, we'll close that. So you'll notice there's some new background image there for you, the RetroMania Launchbox edition. 4 games that are included. these are all set up so you could play those. You would need to map the controllers for each one, but from here it's to add your games and things like that. Obviously watch the tutorials, but it is literally as simple as go to Tools, go to Import, and go to ROM files, and then wherever you've got your games stored, I'll show you a quick example of one, shall I? So let's add my favourite game. Let's add Super Mario Kart. So welcome to the import ROM file. This is all pretty straightforward. So at this stage we're adding a file. We just want to add one game. If you want to add multiple games, you would go to the add folders option. So let's go to where I've got my games. So I've got my games in the cloud. So let's go to SNES. Now I've got all my artwork and such set up there for RetroX, but Launchbox uses a slightly different setup. So let me just find Super Mario Kart. So I've got the hacked version there. Right, let's go with this one then, Super Mario Kart. So you literally click on the ROM, go to Next. Platform for imported ROMs, so we know what that is. It's a Super Nintendo. So you would scroll down the list to Super Nintendo. Then click Next, and because John's very kindly pre-configured a lot of the emulators for you, it will tell you which emulator in most instances to use, so you don't need to do that. So we've saved you that headache, so click Next. Use the files in their current location is what I typically use, so it's stored on my NAS drive. I don't want it to be duplicated and put on my local drive, so I'll click this one. Search for game information, yeah, it's fine to all that. So would you like to download images for your game? So it will try and find a lot of the artwork and images for your games for you. If you have an MU Movies account, which I do, you can add your login details there, so it will download all the artwork and videos and everything that it has from MU Movies. At this stage I'll just skip that though, because most people I guess at this stage won't have it. And then usually you can just pretty much leave all those as they are, and then click Next. So now it'll find the game, Super Mario Kart, so this is its location, that's its extension, and that's the name that it's going to show up in Launchbox as. So we click Finish, and now it'll start to look for the artwork for the game. So this is the free version. To be honest, I've not used the free version for pulling the artwork. I've only ever done it through my MU Movies account, so it'll be interesting to see what it grabs from this side. So there we go. Chum. Importing Super Mario Kart. You'll find the system will show up here when it's completed. So it's downloading 4 of 20 files. So it's downloading box art, front and back. I'm guessing it'll be downloading videos and a few other little bits. So we'll see what it looks like when it comes. So as I say, you've got a few other options here of games that we've pre-included. So you've got your Altered Beast, Crystal Castles off the Atari 2600. Oh, there we go, that's done. So now it shows up in the left, Super Nintendo, and you'll see there on the right, Super Mario Kart, and it's got the box art. I wonder if it's got the 3D box art. If you right click on it, you can go to Image Type, and 3D boxes. There we go, so you can even look at the 3D box art. So to play the game with Launchbox, double click it. There you go. Emulator's open. You're playing the game. If you want to set up your controllers, go to Input, set up your controller with whatever you want to do. You can set it to go full screen. That just shows you how simple it is. So I don't want to get sued by Nintendo, so I'll close that down. So essentially, guys, that's it. That's how you run the exe. That's how you add a game. I'll go into more detail per system later on. But I suppose the best bit of news is this is free. You're all getting it. This isn't exclusive to Elite anymore. This is now a RetroMania exclusive. So thanks to John Logie for putting all the work in. Thanks to everybody else behind the scenes that's been helping developing and testing. And yeah, enjoy it.